All right, so here's my response to Lucky Sixes over at PTG. So I was watching one of his videos. It was a battle report. I think it was the Knights of Equitaine versus the Vermin Swarm. And he asked his fans, and I'm a fan, what to do an analysis for him. So what happened is in the post-analysis of the battle report, one of his co-hosts mentioned the opportunity he had to charge the Vermin Demon with his Grail Knights. And he was hesitant. The Vermin Demon is a scary character. And so, but however, so are the Grail Knights. And he was hesitant to bring him in and charge him. Uh, and so he asked his fans if it would be possible for somebody to give him a comment, and in particular with numbers, so he could see if the analysis was the right call for him, not charging versus charging. So here's the response, and I just happen to have an Excel spreadsheet that I use for my calculations. And this is something I wrote back in the days when I used to play a lot of Warhammer, and I since ported it over to the ninth age, so it has all the same statistics. Quick overview, real quick, of the tool. Over here is the armies, the units, the stat lines, the profiles, the base size, um, and then the special stats. Only the ones that in particular have something to do with hand-to-hand combat. This is a profile. These are the dice rolls that you have to hit: 4+ to hit, 5+ to wound, 3 to for the armor save, and no ages here. And this is a probability. The green represents the amount of characters dead. The wounds represents the amount of um, wounds caused. Right. Some characters have more than one wound, and that's why I have this. And then the blue represents the rank bonuses, and finally the green over here represents the combat res. Now I do not take into account standards, or you know, that's something that we could easily handle. Now down here is impact hits and stomp attacks, and essentially these are just averages. I plug in the numbers and then do an average here. Okay, so that said, let's take a quick analysis. Go over here, open up the Knights of Equitaine, and go over to the Grail Knights, and let's take a look at the Vermin Swarm and the Vermin Demon. Right away, you see the stats go up, and you could see already. Here, let's go down. One character to one character. Grail Knight has a probability of 6 versus 37%. So it's not looking good for one individual Grail Knights. But uh, you know, we'll jump up the numbers right now. But let's go individually. He had 3 types of characters in that Grail Knight. Had the Grail Knight here at a 6% probability. The damsel here has a 2% probability. Most likely she's not going to get any wounds in. And the paladin, even though he had additional attack, has only a 5% probability. So these characters really are not going to influence the combat. So let's just ignore them for now. But what we will do is include them for the rank and file. So come over here, down here, and let's see what kind of numbers we get once we start bumping up the rank and file units. Now, before I do that, let's go into the individual profiles and update all of the advantages and disadvantages that they have. All right, so first of all, a Grail Knight has magical attacks. So that means that the Vermin Demon has an Aegis of 5+ for normal attacks and a 4+ for magical attacks. So we bump up his Aegis, and the probability goes down even more. However, the question was, should he have charged the Vermin Demon? And so the answer then is, what would happen? What kind of bonuses does the Grail Knights have? The Grail Knight has a lance, so you would add a 2+ wound and a 2+ armor piercing. And now the bonuses go from 5% to 19%, because now he's wounding on a 4. And he's negating his armor save. But in addition to that, a Grail Knight has devastating charge. So we go from a 2+ to a 3+ to wound, and a 2+ armor piercing to 3+ armor piercing. Obviously that one didn't take into effect, but if you see the wounds does, and now we're wounding on a 2. Aegis is still there, but divine attack takes this into account. Now you don't without the divine attack. I think the probability would be 19. So there's a slight bump up. I did some pre-analysis before this video. So this 25 with divine attack is taken into account. Now we're looking a little bit better. Now just one Grail Knight charging has a probability of causing 1 wound versus the 2 wounds that would have happened with the Vermin Daemon. All right, but now remember we had a 3 frontage of the models and a total of 9 in the units. And as you can see now, the combat res goes up quite a bit. We do 3 wounds and 5 attacks, but the Grail Knights have an additional special ability. It's called, I want to say Holy Might, which gives their 2nd rank an additional attack. So what I do here is in pre-calculation, I don't take into account the additional attacks for the Holy Might. I only allow it at 1 for regular units. So what we'll have to do is manually add 3 attacks. And now their attacks bump up to 15. You can see it go from 12 to 15. And now they're doing 6 combat res versus 2. All right. Now, so I think right now, without anybody swinging first, or without anybody dying, or any charge bonuses. Well, actually, this is a charge bonus. We're looking at an 8-2. But remember, the Vermin Daemon with the Aegis of 9 strikes before the Grail Knights with the Aegis of 5. So what's going to happen is, based on this, we're going to assume that 2 die. Now, real quick, I wanted to comment. I think this is obvious for a lot of folks, but I just want to point it out. Statistically speaking, a 3.5 stomp attack is going to, at a 50% wound, is likely going to get 1 through. But remember, cavalry does not suffer from stomp attacks, so it's not taken into account. Had they not been cavalry, they would have been at 3 wounds. Okay. So that said, we're going to deduct 2 from this unit size of 9. And now the Grail Knights are striking with a 7. You notice that the CR drops back down to 4 instead of 6. But at the end of the day, you add 2 combat stats, 1 for his standard bearer and 1 for his army standard bearer. Now you have a 6-4 victory of the Grail Knights over the Vermin Daemon. And since you're lucky 6s, it'll definitely roll much higher than that. So anyhow, that's my analysis. This is Kelmore signing out.